Hello, my name's Will. Here at Quell, what we talk a lot about is staff safety. And every now and again, we'll do a video on a small segment of one of our training sessions, or a model or something like that. And in this video, what I want to talk about is reducing aggression. Now, there's so many models out there, I'm sure you could find them easily, even plenty of descriptions and detailed videos and scenarios and all that lot. But all I want to talk about is our model. Just a short model we came together and we thought, well, this does work for the environment that we work within. And we call it Resolve. And all it is just a bit of an idea to consider in whatever order when you're engaging with somebody that's showing you a high degree of aggression, and see if you can resolve it. Now, first we go for the R, and that is remaining calm. Anyone in any type of role where you're coming across, shall we say, forms of aggression knows if you get more excited, well, you're going to reflect that onto that person's behaviour, and therefore it can actually get out of control. So remaining calm is very important. Energy levels matched. What I mean is, in that, there's so many variations of it, is that I try to encourage people not to shout above the person. Don't start getting in a bit of a competition with them, because the louder you shout at somebody, there's a high percentage chance they're going to shout back at you. And that's what we do. It's like if you're setting a traffic jam. You ever notice when someone hits a horn? Somebody hits a horn and it gets a bit out of control sometimes. Then I talk a lot about stance. It's very hard to talk within a video, isn't it? But stance is, how do we stand in front of the person? The most basic form I always talk about is when we're standing in front of somebody, try our hardest not to stand square on. Now, I know a lot of people out there will talk about balance and about making sure you can move and things like that and walk away. I totally agree with that. But what I always talk about is the image that we're projecting to that person. If we stand square onto them, we could appear confrontational. So I talk a bit about stance. Then we go to the O, openness. I always say to people, be very careful what you're saying now. I'm not being funny, but I've dealt with incidents where staff have been recorded or videoed, and I try to say to them, just be careful what you say. Many years ago, people used to say what you want, say anything just to get out of a situation. But the way I used to look at it was that could reflect onto another colleague. If you say something or promise something, and then they might not take it out on you because you've got away, but they might take it out on a colleague. Look and listen actively. What that means is, look like you're listening. Don't get me wrong, I've met loads of people that have got that skill of when someone's telling them something, they look like they're listening. We'll move on from that one. Verifying acknowledge. I always find it very interesting when engaging with people that if I ask them questions. So let me give you an example. If someone's venting at me, or shall we say, showing their frustrations to me, I always let them, as we always joke about, get it off their chest. But what I also do is I look for two things. One, I look for a gap. Now, what I mean is when they start to repeat themselves, I then interject in and ask questions. I use a notebook. I tell them I'm taking notes if it's on the phone. I acknowledge to them in that point that I'm actually, shall we say, not just listening, but I'm paying attention to what they're saying. But one thing about venting I try to encourage people to remember is try and not let them go on too long, because they'll talk about subjects you really don't want to know. And the last one is our E, is empathise. It's hard to empathise with people that are being very vulgar, vile, nasty. But all I say to my attendees, and I know my team do the same, is, well, has any of us ever had a really bad day and we said something we shouldn't have said? Again, our Resolve model is just something we put together to reflect what we're like in Quell, how we put our training across. Because our training is very bespoke, and we try not to follow the generic elements of training. We try to say, right, okay, then where we're going to go with this with our attendees. And today it works. So have a look through our Resolve model, have a think to yourself, see if it's something that would interest you and something that will help you in reducing aggression. If you want to know more about staff safety or personal safety, and that's all the elements under workplace violence, please visit our YouTube channel. And if you can, jump onto our LinkedIn channel and see, well, some of the stories that we put up every now and again, just to keep the subject active. Stay safe, whatever you're doing, and bye for now.